Hello everyone, this is Christy. As we have seen in class before, there are nouns that we can count and nouns that we can't, just by looking at them or trying to separate them. In this presentation, we will see how to make uncountable nouns countable, so we can start working in our environmental project using the correct grammar. But before we start, I would like you to read this part and keep it in mind for our project. First, let's get real. Not all plastic is bad. Bike helmets, car airbags, and many medical supplies made with plastic save lives. Plastic water bottles can bring clean drinking water to people who don't have it, and plastic straws can help people with disabilities drink. The problem is that most of us use and then toss way more plastic than we need. Things like grocery bags, drink bottles, straws, food wrappers, and plastic packaging around toys. This kind of plastic that we used only once before being thrown away is called single-use plastic, and it makes up more than 40% of all plastic trash. Again, keep this in mind for our project. Okay, now going back to the grammar. I'm going to give you a moment. You may pause the video if you like, to take a look at the sentence and decide which ones are correct and which ones aren't. Ready? Okay, so let's see. The first three sentences are incorrect, and the last two are correct. Let's see why. So why are these sentences incorrect? The first one, some people think that a milk a day is good for health. Well, it is incorrect because milk is a non-count noun, so the indefinite article a can't be used with it. The second sentence, some people think that a few milk a day is good for health. This is incorrect because milk is a non-count noun, so the quantifier a few can't be used with it. As for the third one, some people think that milk are good for health. This is incorrect because milk is a non-count noun, so the verb following it has to be in the singular. The verb to be has to be is. Some people think that milk is good for health. This goes for every dairy product as well as liquids, such as the ocean. So how can we count a non-count noun? Well, there are a few phrases that we can use to give them a form. For example, an article of, a piece of, a glass of, a loaf of, and a grain of, a bowl of. Here we have a couple of sentences to make this clear. For example, for breakfast, I had a loaf of bread and a glass of juice. In this form, I can actually count the bread and juice I had for breakfast. One more example. Let me give you a piece of advice. Advice is an abstract concept. It cannot be counted, but if we add a piece of, then we can say that is countable. For example, let me give you a piece of advice. Replace plastic containers for cartons. Now, how can we use the rest of these phrases? Another example. Last year, she got an article of clothing for her birthday, didn't she? So, an article of can make a non-count noun countable. There's one more example. I would add only a grain of salt in a bowl of soup. This might be a little hard, but grammatically, it is correct. Alright, now please take a moment. Again, you may pause the video if you think this is necessary to match these articles that we have of these nouns under the corresponding phrase to make them countable. Okay, I'm going to give you some time if you can pause. And now, here are the answers so you can check your work. Ready? Okay. Excellent. Okay, one more thing. Some nouns can be countable or non-countable, depending on their meaning. For example, I have 3 daughters, so I have to buy 3 different shampoos. Shampoos becomes countable because there are 3 different kinds. I got some shampoo in my eyes this morning. That's why they are red now. In this case, shampoo is not countable because we cannot measure the amount of shampoo that got into my eyes this morning. Okay, great. Okay, please take a look at the following examples. We have, for example, energy. We have a light source. We have hair, you. That's something's going to your soup. And then it's countable. For example, could you please turn off the light on your way out? This is energy. Light cannot be counted just by looking at it. We don't know how much light can we see. Same thing, we cannot count sunlight as hair, etc. Here we have some more examples. Fruit can be countable or uncountable, as well as chance or chances. Once again, depends on the context we are using them. One more time, please take a moment to look at these sentences and cross the sentences that have a mistake. Correct them. If they don't have a mistake, just check them. And please upload this in Classroom, where I already opened a task form, so you can do this work as well as the rest of the tasks included in this presentation. Again, you may pause the video if you need some time. Alright, and finally, to start with the project of pollution, I would like you to read through these activities that we have to do, and again, take a moment to reflect on them, to think about the things you want to say. For example, the first one, read the following article, identify the errors, and correct them. Errors in countable and uncountable nouns. Second step, visit the link provided and take some notes. These notes are very important for the next step in our project. Finally, upload your answers in Classroom in the task sheet that I already uploaded. Here's the article that you have to read. Please read it carefully. Apart from the errors in grammar, it is very important that you take a moment to consider the information that you can see here and reflect on the things that we can do about this huge problem that we have now. So, in this next slide, it says, what can we do about it? Take a moment to continue reading. Again, there might be some errors in this presentation, in this paragraph. And after that, visit the website, that is included here. Need ideas on what can we do about it? Check out this link. Please visit it. And after you visit the website, take a moment to think about the things that are said there. And then select 2 actions you are willing to do and keep track of your advance in your journal. So, by working together, our choices can help save animals and the ocean they live in. This is a very important task we do because it's not just for our classroom kids, remember? This is a project that we actually want to take into the world and see if we can do a little change. So, thank you for watching this, and take a moment to really think about the impact we want to do in the world. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.